Hello everybody, I'm Colin Demarest, a reporter with C4 and Defense News. Today I'm joined by Michael Weigand with Shift5, a data and cybersecurity company. Let's get right into it and maybe you can break this down. What is GPS spoofing and how is it different from traditional forms of jamming?
Yeah, so GPS spoofing is when somebody puts a false signal out in order to affect receivers and make those receivers think that they are someplace where they're not, or that the time is different. This is obviously very different than jamming, where you're putting signals out and preventing those receivers from hearing the signals from the satellites. One of these is a little bit more dangerous in many instances than the other because a GPS outage, right, just means that that receiver is not providing the position, navigation, or timing information to the device. The other is where that receiver has been fooled and is actually providing bad or incorrect information.
So what technologies or systems are being targeted by these spoofing attacks? And, are there things that are especially vulnerable?
Well, more today than we've ever seen in the past, there are GPS jamming and spoofing attacks happening on a daily basis around the world. Unfortunately, some irresponsible state actors are using these techniques. And when you do GPS jamming or spoofing in the environment, it causes an effect that is indiscriminatory. It affects both receivers that are being used for military applications as well as receivers being used for civil applications.
And so what can militaries do to better grasp or counteract that GPS spoofing? And where does M-code come into play?
M-code is one of the latest advancements that's being rolled out where they are tuning up or providing a better encrypted signal to military receivers. There are actually two different types, broadly speaking, of signals that GPS satellites provide. One is essentially a civil signal. That's what our cell phones and other civilian receivers use to resolve the time and location. And then the military has always reserved a special encrypted channel to provide, in many cases, higher fidelity and more authenticated signals. M-code's the latest advancement there. The military, the Department of Defense actually is the lead agency at providing assured position, navigation, and timing. They continue to make advancements through the Oversight Council and a broad set of stakeholders that acknowledge that one of the most important services that they provide, beyond providing assured position, navigation, and timing to military users, both our own and our allies, and preventing our adversaries from using those signals in a time of war, is also to support the civil infrastructure. So they continue to look for ways to advance the system in the architecture to stay ahead of threats in the future.
So what does Shift5 bring to the table here? How do you guys tackle this problem or begin to tackle this problem?
What Shift5 brings to the table is the ability to monitor the outputs from those receivers on an internal network or data bus and compare it with other sensors, looking at things like inertial navigation units or other devices that give us clues to where we are and where we've been, so that we can compare the totality of information available on the system to verify and validate that the receiver is providing us accurate information. We're going to constantly work with industry to tune up the anti-jamming and anti-spoofing detection capabilities on the receivers themselves. But within the weapon system itself, we want to take advantage of all of these other information sources to provide a verification and validation. And that's where Shift5 shines. We provide hardware and software solutions to do that. That type of data fusion is relatively novel. And so we're excited to be working with industry partners and with a variety of military partners to advance the state of that technology, get it proven, fielded, and then show how it can be affordably retrofitted to weapon systems so we can increase their survivability.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time, Michael.
Colin, appreciate it. Thank you.